Welcome to today's product session. It's been an exciting day and hope you're having a great time at Altitude. In this session, we're going to explore how we can unlock new time savings with automation-driven efficiency, eventually leading to orchestration. I am Harit Patel, part of the product management team at BetterCloud, primarily responsible for BetterCloud's manage product or solution, everything from user, group, license, and permissions orchestration across SaaS applications. It's my distinct pleasure to be presenting at my second Altitude and excited to share some new changes in BetterCloud over the course of this session. In the world we live in today, the expectations for what IT can manage has significantly gone up. Yet investments in headcount have not followed the same trajectory. With our employees working more remote than ever, IT teams have consistently been adding more work on their plates to keep the laptops and applications running to enable employees to be more productive than ever in this digital world that we live in. So let's look at the growth of SaaS applications. Thanks to their ease and affordability, popular SaaS applications aren't going away anytime soon. Gartner, for example, anticipated that SaaS solutions will generate close to $105 billion in revenue in 2020, and that's 20 billion less than Gartner's estimates for 2019, and that's billion with a B. Surely this jump is due to the global pandemic, forcing companies to pivot to remote work. While SaaS solutions are among the easiest to adopt and roll out, this is seeing a higher than normal uptick. If we look at the growth of SaaS applications over the next few years, as they have been growing tremendously over the past few months and years, we are going to continue this trend and see this trend in the upcoming future, but it's going to be slightly more exponential. If we overlay this graph with the rise in IT managed applications, we notice a very similar uptick. As we continue to leverage best-in-breed SaaS applications in our workplaces and our organizations, this trend is going to continue. On average, we see organizations using about 80 applications in their workplaces, and with some even going into the high hundreds. And as they scale their organizations more globally, this application usage is going to keep on increasing. However, let's say we take one app from this array of applications. Let's say Zoom, which is everyone's familiar with. As the world that we live in today, it's become a norm to be on video conferences or audio conferences. Zoom has all these unique settings, from calendar integrations to encryption settings to room configurations, and these are all completely unique to Zoom. And you have to log into Zoom to help manage these on a one-off basis. And think of this as just one application, right? So as you see more and more applications getting into the IT umbrella, the management and security of all these additional applications adds complexity. And as you add more applications, the complexity increases exponentially. It becomes impossible to manage all these applications manually. Which brings me to the question, are IT teams resourced to support this vision? Looking at the data from the SaaSOps report, we are noticing that IT teams are not growing as fast as the rest of your organizations, which means they're being tasked to do way more with way less resources. And the only way to stay on top of work more when you have fewer people is through automation. We recently released the State of the SaaSOps report, and it clearly highlighted some of the staggering data behind what IT professionals are doing on an everyday basis, and how the differences between IT professionals show up when they start using SaaSOps platforms or if they're doing their work manually. One of the first key insights that you see is IT is spending more time doing manual tasks, and rather than doing and focusing their work on strategic initiatives, they're spending more time with these manual tasks. 34% of IT professionals spend at least half a week performing SaaS management tasks manually with random clicks of buttons across random applications. 74% spend at least 1 day a week doing manual tasks. Think of all the one-off tasks that you have had to do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Think of all the access permissions you have had to provide, the licensing changes you've had to do. And this keeps on repeating year over year, month over month. This makes sense. As workloads are increasing across fewer people, everyone is being tasked to do way more, and this all ends up being manual work. Your goal should be to free up your team to start supporting automation and stop working on these mundane, repetitive tasks that could be automated, and instead focus on more strategic projects and initiatives that will have a larger impact on your business, your growth as an individual in your company, and help you automate the routine and mundane tasks. If we dig into these stats further, we see that SaaSops users offboard employees up to 75% faster than the industry average. And they're 50% more likely to focus on strategic initiatives rather than just routine tasks. And lastly, 106% more likely to focus on optimal end user experience. These numbers altogether are phenomenal. And it all starts by leveraging a platform that enables you to create scalable automations for a variety of use cases across different providers and different applications. By employing automation to handle these routine workloads, SaaSops users are able to actually turn their time away from manual work and rather focus on initiatives that help you in the future. By automating processes, organizations are also improving their security posture. Data suggests that SaaSops users are 35% more likely to feel good or feel certain that nobody retains access after offboarding them via a really good offboarding process. And that is phenomenal. Shows how SaaSops is elevating the role of IT across the organization. But with all that being said, how can we achieve similar results? What are the places we can look at, or what are the places we can start automating? Let me run through a few examples to help you kickstart some of your chain of thoughts across a few different places and use cases that we can start automating with. At BetterCloud, we want you to help overcome all the challenges faced by IT with our SaaSops platform. And to do that successfully, we know that we need to connect to every application that exists within your environment. You're able to leverage BetterCloud's unique approach of mapping relationships between users' data, their applications, and other assets to bring in all the interconnectedness and help you improve your automations. We call this our operational intelligence. And in order to help leverage the operational intelligence, the platform is designed to help you provide additional capabilities like search, reporting, permissions, roles, notifications, and most key, automation with our workflows. For this session, we're going to focus on the automation piece and how we can help you address those use cases and problems that you see on a day-to-day basis, primarily focused around automation. And with our two solutions, BetterCloud Manage and BetterCloud Secure, we are designed to help address the most common use cases in your SaaSops framework. So let's start with BetterCloud Manage. BetterCloud Manage removes the routine, day-to-day tasks associated with managing SaaS applications. First, we automate the full user lifecycle, including onboarding, offboarding, and any changes a user makes during their time with your organization. We go deeper than provisioning and deprovisioning and actually configure the settings and access to data within the applications. We have saved organizations tens of thousands of hours by automating these repetitive processes and giving them the peace of mind that everything is being done fully and completely every single time. Next, BetterCloud also ensures that application configurations you have set for your organization do not change. Rather than relying on periodic checks on application settings, BetterCloud listens to changes in your application's settings and helps you automatically remediate any potential dangerous changes, saving you time and also ensuring the collaborative features that your users love in SaaS do not become security threats. Finally, many organizations that we work with have multiple instances of the same integration. Whether this has occurred through organic user adoption of applications or M&A, BetterCloud helps centralize these applications into a single view and enables you to apply the same automated management and security policies across any instance of your application. So let's take a look at an example of this. For teams who leverage guest accounts in applications like Office 365 or Slack, it can be hard to remember when to remove a guest user's access to these accounts. Oftentimes, employees are running so fast that they forget to tell IT, and the user retains access past their last day, leaving open a potential security threat. By leveraging BetterCloud, you can build a workflow to onboard the user and ensure they have access to exactly what they need, such as groups, files, challenges, channels, and nothing more. Then you can set up a wait for approval in 120 days, or however long their contract is, to check in with the user's manager to see if the account can be deleted. If they say yes, BetterCloud will take all the actions to offboard the user and revoke their access. Here's another example around group management. There are instances where someone could change a Google group permissions to open it up to the public, allowing anyone in the world to join that group, which could lead to drastic consequences. Think about what would happen if a confidential email was sent to a group that included a non-employee. BetterCloud automations can help you identify those changes and remediate the changes before the organization ends up in that scenario. Next, let's look at our second solution, BetterCloud Secure. As we start leveraging all these SaaS applications, we also put our data at risk. Automations can help tighten security around these data and these applications. Helping protect your file and folder configurations to properly configure your file security is key. Making sure we can help identify if any of your data is at risk based on sharing or visibility permissions. This is a critical piece to the overall security of your organization. Identifying insider threats and quickly remediating those threats is an important step to overall risk management for your organizations. BetterCloud automatically listens for these changes in settings and automatically triggers workflows to protect your files and stop users from malicious or negligent insider threats. Lastly, ensuring that only administrators have elevated privileges to your applications. That's important. We do not want to end up in a situation where there are 50 plus global admins for any of our applications. You can configure automations that will kick off when the admin thresholds hit a certain number. And maybe you get notified, let's say when you have 10 admins added to your Atlassian instance. So you can control the number of admins having super admin privileges. So let's take a couple of examples for secure use cases. If someone in your organization changes file permissions and makes something externally available, we can have automations in place to immediately revert that change, especially if it contains any sensitive PII data, helping reduce the overall security risk for your organizations. And this next one might surprise you, mainly because we usually assume insiders have the best of intentions, and insider threats mostly apply to users who unknowingly do something wrong. However, we have seen this one triggered a number of times across our customer base, where BetterCloud automations can listen to file sharing activity to see if a file is being shared with someone at your competitor domains. If it is, we can unshare the file, notify the user's manager, and inform security of this incident. If someone we suspect is leaving or having a lot of access to sensitive information, you might be concerned about why this person is sharing something with a competitor. So you can also add a wait for approval, asking the manager or security teams if they would like to suspend the user and the account in question. Or you can also disable their SSO accounts so we can ensure that they cannot pass along any additional information. However, as you start looking at all these automations, we're continuing to improve and advance these automations. To help make these automations more advanced, more granular, more precise, more detail-oriented, we've been working to make various improvements across BetterCloud. From workflow conditions to dynamic fields to wait for approval actions, there's so many of them. Let me go through a few. To continue to support all your use cases and your SaaS applications, we are expanding support for integrations. We announced the Integration Center last year at Altitude, and since then, the number of supported applications in BetterCloud have gone up. And with other announcements planned over the next few days at Altitude, you'll see that we plan to take this journey with you for more, deeper, and full integrations more faster over the next few years and beyond. And as you start tying in more of those integrations, the triggers to enable those automations start playing a key role. The number of alerts crossed the 100 mark a couple of months back, and we are continuing to invest in more customization in this space. And we hope that will help double, triple this number over the coming year. And lastly, our supported actions. We support over 800 plus actions in our armada of actions in BetterCloud, and that's more than doubled since last Altitude. Thanks to our custom integration support, we do see this multiplying over the coming months as well, and we hope to quicken the pace of these actions even further, helping you connect to any application across the SaaS infrastructure. While connecting more applications is one thing, BetterCloud also enables ways to help leverage data across your SaaS environment. Through our patented data graph, BetterCloud allows IT to select integrations and their specific data attributes and use them into another application for configuring those automations, helping with accurate data every single time. This functionality helps create a more interconnected app ecosystem and therefore a way to create more extensible and fully automated workflows. And as a result of all these enhancements and various other improvements and investments, we now see more than 10,000 automations being triggered every single day in BetterCloud. And each automation includes sometimes 50, 60, 70 different steps. So that's a lot of automations happening on a daily basis. To put that into perspective, last year, it would have taken us 2 days to hit 10,000. And if we go way back to 2016, when Workflows was introduced, it would have taken us 4 months to hit 10,000 workflows. This speaks to the scale and the extent of the automations that BetterCloud can create for your automation needs. To put that into perspective, that is 120 times what we were able to support when we started rolling out workflows. That's phenomenal. We talked about all these ways we could automate, but what if I want to look at all the possibilities? What if I'm not sure where to start? So last Altitude, we talked about this idea of templates and providing these cookie cutter molds to enable more automation. And earlier this year, we delivered on that promise. We enabled the functionality to help you get up and running with best practice automations with just a few clicks. Today, we have over 35 workflow templates to get you up and running with the most common workflow automations. Workflow templates are our way of sharing the most common automations being leveraged by the SaaS Ops community. If you're interested in learning more about the future of workflow templates, you should join my colleague, Julia Florick, on Thursday at her session, The Next Frontiers of the BetterCloud Platform. Our workflow templates don't just tell you what best practice looks like. They actually walk you through the step of pre-configured multi-step workflows in a more wizard-like experience that recommends actions based on the applications or integrations you have connected. We made it as easy as possible to get up and running with automations from BetterCloud on day one. We have seen tremendous responses since its release and can't wait for the next level of enhancements in workflows and templates. So we looked at various different ways on how we can start automation and looked at how automation is key to being successful when there's more work than people to do that work. I would recommend diving into our workflow templates to look at ideas and options that you haven't thought of. You can also look at ways to improve your overall organizational efficiencies. Start using our workflow builder to explore more options and configure your automations. And lastly, talk to our EAG team and bounce off ideas for new ways to automate more steps in your day-to-day processes, helping you live a more easier, automation-driven, efficient life. And with that, I would like to thank you for attending Altitude and hope you have a fun rest of the day and hope to see you around on all the other product sessions. Thank you.